Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Let's get the show going.
Distance nerding.
Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time. It is that time of the week. It is your favorite time, our favorite time. It's Tuesday. You know what that means. You are now watching and listening and tasting Distance Nerding.
Part of the Comic Con radio podcast family.
You're a family.
You're a family. She's Ray Girl.
He's the LA Laker fan, James 5000.
I'm definitely not a Laker fan. And
Whoa.
he is the James 5000. And we're here to nerd together. I did that all by myself. You guys did not back me up on that.
We're here to nerd together.
It's because I introduced James, and then you took it yourself and thought I introduced you because he was going to introduce you. You need to read the script.
Who goes? You, me,
you,
me.
Me, you, both of us. We did the same thing. What was?
Hey, I can tell you this right now. I'm going to say this right now. Golden State lost that game last night. I love me some Lonnie Walker IV because he was my boy on the Spurs. And Golden State lost that game last night. Lonnie Walker helped the Lakers. But who takes a freaking 3-point? That 3-point shot from the top was not a good look. And they just fucking took it. And then they did that freaking, let's switch it and let's just pass it all the way across the floor. That is some rookie crap there. I expect way more out of Steve Kerr. He knows how to make a play. And I expect more. So that's all I'm saying.
You're not wrong. I mean, there's been a lot of missteps. We're not going to talk basketball on this.
I am here for this tea, and I got my cookies. And
we can nerd out on basketball and sports. It's one thing we don't nerd out on this show about is sports. But I mean, we can go all day with some sports. What I did want to mention before I jump into this beginning plug thing that we do right here. I mean, James hasn't even done the tagline, but guys, if you could see the way Frey dances off screen, it makes me so happy. You guys have no idea. But James, do the tagline. Sorry, man.
You mean the one where we're talking about anything, pop culture, movies, food, music, wrestling, comics, basketball losses, whatever you're nerding out on, we want to talk about.
Hey, I mean, technically we are nerding out on the Lakers and the Warriors, but still, ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Discord, all at Distance Nerding.
Hey, it's playoff basketball, baby. I'm all about playoff basketball.
If you guys want to send us messages about your favorite basketball team and why it's the Warriors, email us at distancenerding@aol.com.
That's funny. Say Wong's chiming in. He's like, we're talking basketball? So they lost like Julius Randle and the Knicks? Oh, see what's happening here?
I knew I was going to start this, but I had to say it. I was on Twitter last night saying it. I was like, this is all I'm going to say. Because I saw it happen. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So, anyway.
Right.
I got no words.
Basketball.
God. In the chat, just real quick. So, Rachel's Adventures. Hey, shout out to Rachel's Adventures. She was Maleficent at Gem State Comic Con. She's asking if the interviews that we did at Gem State, if they're going to go online. They will eventually. We have to cycle through all of our other interviews that haven't gone up yet before we put those up, but they will be up.
Oh, and I have to say hi to my sister from another mister. That would be our Mezzo, JD, Mommy Mezzo, Premier Mommy.
What up, Mezzo? Oh, that's cool. I remember the Maleficent. That's great. What's up, Rach? That's awesome. Thanks
It was
for
a great
listening.
cosplay. It was a really good cosplay. I remember us talking about that cosplay. But ladies and gentlemen, this week on deck, we've got the Geekend update.
Oh, Powerhouse Comic Con is almost here. More interviews.
Right? More interviews. Lights, camera, reaction.
Time to spice things up with Dune Part 2.
Starting rumors.
Is
Superman
Superman
flying?
flying onto your console system?
I love that both of you guys try to say that line right now. And of course, the download.
We're dishing out a delightful amount of DC deliciousness.
Deliciousness.
Nah.
But of course, before we get into that, we've got to ask you guys and got to let you know. But first, let me get a shout out.
Shout out to Poddex. In fact, this episode is powered by Poddex. Poddex are a unique interview, question, and episode starting prompts in the palm of your hand. So if you're a new podcaster or an existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, level up with Poddex and check out poddex.com. Use code nerding10. Get yourself a discount. Rachel heard our Poddex questions when we did the interviews up at Gem State Comic Con in Idaho. So yeah, Poddex are great. We use them practically at every interview that we do, and it always creates a lot of conversation. So if you're interested, check out poddex.com.
Oh wait, I actually have it.
I'm okay with the acoustic version.
That's acapella, baby.
Yeah. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if the show and all of our channel and everything is brought to you by Poddex, then what powers young Phil and all of his obsessive energy? I'm going to tell you what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil is brought to you by DUBBY. That's right. DUBBY's an emerging brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. DUBBY contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes, and it is keto friendly for those of you who are on that, keto lifestyle.
Keto.
The keto. DUBBY contains Neurofactor, a neurotropic derived from the coffee fruit. Neurofactor helps give your brain focus and clarity, while the 150 milligrams of caffeine and 3 essential B vitamins help you stay alert and energized. Ladies and gentlemen, find out more about DUBBY. Go to www.dubby.gg. Use the code NERDING10. Get 10% off your order. Completely worth it. For those of you who are at Gem State Comic Con, you got to taste it. You know how delicious the DUBBY is. So get in on that. My flavor combination tonight is I just thought about it right now because I was just kind of like looking over and I was like, oh, what should I do? And I was like, okay, definitely want to do the Calio cream, which is the new flavor. Right?
Ooh,
Oh yeah, that's the dreamsicle mango thing.
The mango orange cream.
Mongo.
Right. But then I was just thinking, I was like, you know what would go good with that is Beach and Peach, which is the Mongol white peach.
Yeah.
And also goat milk.
Yeah, definitely add some goat milk.
Or,
No? Right.
almond milk if you're still wanting to be keto, because, and you like your animals, friends.
Exactly.
Well, if you like them so much, drink their milk. You know what I mean?
I've milked a cow before.
Did it kick you?
No. Young Phil, I have nipples. Can you milk me?
Well, yeah, you can pretty much milk anything with nipples. All right,
let's move on.
James, more time for James.
Oh, look at that. Look, there's like 17 fingers touching his lips at the same time. That's weird.
Very
Mongo-y.
Well, while I'm doing this, of course, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the GEEKEND
Ugh.
Oh. Slow down there, Max Headroom. What's happening here?
I love the Max Headroom reference. That works out perfectly.
All right, listen to Distance Nerding and our second show, a comic conversation via comiccon-radio.com. So Rachel in the chat was asking, like, hey, how do we get to these Gem State Comic Con interviews? Where are they going to be? It's going to be on comiccon-radio.com under a comic conversation. So all the interviews we do at the various cons, interviews we do on the show, we compile them up, throw them into our second show, a comic conversation. So look for Distance Nerding Podcast, including this episode, and a new comic conversation every week on comiccon-radio.com/podcast. I'll pop it into the chat because that's what it says to do.
It's instructions written by James.
For James at a later time.
He's like,
Or
wait,
James.
what did my instructions say? What did I tell myself to do later?
Or James by James. Approved by
For
James.
James. That's the brand. You're just
And if you're
approved.
If you're looking for more interviews, our next show that we're doing is powerhousecomiccon.com, May 20th, Pleasanton, California, featuring David Faustino from Married with Children. Love and marriage, love and marriage
goes
together like a
horse and carriage. This I'll tell you, brother. You can't have one without the other. All right, I'm done.
Now you're done. We also got Tracy Gold from Growing Pains. Okay, sing the Growing Pains theme.
Can't think of that one off the top of my head.
Exactly. Gotcha.
Not as memorable.
Tracy Gold will be there. Elise Bowman from Dragon Ball Z will be there. Our good friend
Dragon. Stop the dragon.
All right. Okay, every theme song.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got something for this one. Never mind. I had something for this one, but I don't anymore. Continue.
All right, thanks. So Elise Bowman from Dragon Ball Z will be there. Our good buddy Joey Dioria, who is Bozo the Clown and the voice of Droopy Dog, he will be there as well. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun. Bunch of other stuff. Cosplay. Oh, speaking of, our good friends, the Fresno Deadpool, so Lady Deadpool Fresno and Deadpool Fresno will be there doing the cosplay contest. That's awesome. They're going to be hosting it. So they're our good friends. Seen them at a number of different shows. They're awesome people.
Maybe I'll back them up this year like I did 2 years ago when they hosted the cosplay contest.
Yeah.
I remember Matt really liked it when I would do like sound bites in the background. He was like, "Oh my God, this is hilarious."
or we get a third Deadpool. I'm just saying.
There's a possibility that there will be 3 Deadpools on stage at that point.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of pools.
Is that a murder of Deadpools?
That would be a murder of Deadpools.
Oh, that's good. So vendors, artists, there's going to be a ton of artists there. Some great celebs, cosplay contest. There's actually going to be a couple bands there as well. I don't know if you saw that, Young Phil, but there's some bands that are opening up the show. It's awesome.
The Army Band is going to be there.
Yeah. So Powerhouse Comic Con, May 20th, Pleasanton, California, at the Alameda County Fairgrounds. It's going to be awesome. Come hang out with us. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, guys,
I'm ready to watch this Dune trailer. Let's do this.
Yes, because we've got show to get into. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for lights, camera, reaction. Now, before I say that, let me actually pull up the screen. There it is.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
I feel like she needs to have more of a New York accent. Can we please have quiet on the set? Quiet.
If I can get a clean recording of you doing it, I will change that.
Okay. We'll work on it.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, the trailer that we are watching this week that we are going to react to is Dune Part 2.
Dune
Part 2
Villeneuve.
by Denis Villeneuve.
Ooh.
Dune
Dune 2 by Villeneuve.
All right, this is getting ridiculous. Let's watch that trailer.
All right. Well, are you guys excited for this? Because again, I thought part one was amazing. I thought it explained the story so much better than the 80s version of the movie, which I do love the original 80s version of the movie.
That 80s version is such a trip now.
It is. Like, I went back and watched it recently, and it is still hard to follow.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
a lot. It's a lot of. It's like
compressed so much.
Right. Well, like, understanding a lot of the concepts as an adult now and going back and watching it, it's still hard to follow. Like the way that he kind of like wrote some of the characters, the way the plot is kind of set up, like you can follow it, but it's still a little rough. You know, and it's considered a classic in cinema, but I mean, like watching this version of it, like you can understand more of the plot points, you understand what's going on, you can follow the story a lot easier than in that version of the movie.
I understand when Jason Momoa goes, "My man."
Yeah.
I love Jason Momoa's Duncan, though. I mean, like I thought that his performance as Duncan was good. I mean, the actor who played Duncan in the original was really good too. But yeah, because
was that Patrick Stewart?
Patrick Stewart was in it, but he didn't play Duncan. He played
was he the Mentat character? Or was
he's
he Brolin's character?
No, he's I'm forgetting his name right now. Thanos.
Brolin?
Yeah, Brolin. Yeah,
he's
was
Josh Brolin's character.
He's not Duncan Idaho. Oh, you know what? If Husby were listening, he would definitely.
Yeah, he's Josh Brolin's character. So he's Josh Brolin's character is Patrick Stewart. I mean, like he's big shoes to fill, Patrick Stewart. Right. But I mean, like, I think he did a good job. He got that he got that same like candor, that same demeanor that Sir Patrick Stewart pulled off with that character too. So I mean, Duncan Idaho was a completely different character, and I feel like he was way more epic. But maybe that's just because you have a massive Hawaiian dude playing him. So
yeah, that's probably true.
My man.
All right, let's get into this. Let's watch the trailer here.
Mary Fade Rocca to keep the bloodlines going so that the fighting would stop.
I know.
But,
just the amount of celebrities that are in these movies. I mean, I was saying because remember Sting played a character in the first movie.
Fade Rocca.
Yeah, and his character wasn't introduced in the first movie.
Right.
And I think they said that he was cast. I remember talking about like that character that Sting played was cast for this version. So the guy in the trailer, I was thinking, is that supposed to be Sting's character?
Yeah, that's Fade Rocca. That's the one, and he's supposed to assassinate Paul now because they know that Paul's alive. Because Princess Erlani, that's Florence Pugh's character.
Right.
She finds out that he's alive, and she starts talking to her father, who is played by Christopher Walken.
Which when I heard Christopher Walken was playing the Emperor, I got kind of excited about that.
Yeah, and
the Emperor of the galaxy.
Right.
Hello,
my daughter. How are you doing today?
I don't need more spice. I need more cowbell. Keep your spice.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's birth, the wedding. I almost said birthday. Mashing up every movie I can right there. No, so I mean, I'm really excited for this. I mean, I love the first one. I thought it did a lot of justice to the book, more so than living up to the other film adaptations that were before it. Because remember, there was also 2 versions of it that were on Sci-Fi. I really enjoy this take from Denis Villeneuve on this. So I mean, just jumping into my rating, and I'll start with this one. I usually don't start here, but I'll start with my rating. I'm gonna give this definitely by the way the trailer looks. I'm giving this a solid 10 suits that recycle your sweat into drinking water. out of 10 giant death worms in the sand.
Frey, what you got?
All right. So I'm giving this 9 Princess Erlani, and I'm probably saying her name wrong. Her weird, like, I don't even know how to say it. Her like freaking dystopian armor look when she finds the Fremen out of 10 Moadibs.
Nice.
They're the little mice.
Yeah.
You guys are hyped for this. I'm just not as hyped.
Really?
I'm interested
Is it
to
all
see
the
it.
sand?
There's too much sand. Gets everywhere.
It's everywhere. You know what's funny is we're making these sand jokes, and if you look on the screen, there's an Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
He hates sand. He does not like this movie
At all.
I'm excited, but I'm not like clamoring for it. If it came out in another year, I'd be like, okay, great. But I would say give me 7 Dave Bautistas out of 10 Zendayas cheating on Tom Holland, because that's just rude that she's kissing some Atreides boy. Poor Spider-Man.
I thought for a second, I was like, wait, what is this news? I didn't hear about this. You're talking about the trailer. Got it. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, what?
She gave up one hunky-looking superhero boy for another hunky-looking superhero boy.
He was
Actually,
the
look the same.
king, y'all. They do have a similar look.
Yeah. Just commenting on something that Say Wong said in the chat right here. He's saying, kind of ironic, the 80s movie helped create a great RTS series of games. Dude, those games were awesome. I really enjoyed those games. I remember playing those when I was younger.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But yeah, so that's it for trailers for this week.
Coming,
Oh my God, I know what you're talking about.
by the way, it's coming November 3rd, 2023. We still got to get through the entire summer of movies coming out,
right?
Before we
I
get
mean,
to
and we
Dune.
have a packed summer. So we got what the next one is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's June 2nd. And then like what the week after that, there's something coming out. I can't remember what. And then like we've got Barbie.
I will tell you. By the way, we are in it already because Guardians is out, and I know both of you saw Guardians, right?
Yes, we've seen it already. So we're not. I've been trying to figure out. I figured we're probably not going to talk about it on this show, but maybe I do an Instagram live. And if Frey is free, maybe she can join me on that.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Or we can do non-spoilery stuff in here too. I mean, I don't care. Like either way, we can do both.
Well, we have a lot to talk about this week on the show.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to do it on the show. But that's why I'm like, oh, maybe we do Instagram live and we do a spoiler-free review.
This is why I'm the talent.
Exactly.
I don't suggest things. I just go, okay, let me read the words.
That's good. I can do that. Okay.
Words.
Every year I look at the movies that are coming out. I'm like, is this the best year of movies we've ever gotten? And then 2023, same deal. It's so many movies are coming out. I'm just looking at them right now. I'm like, Fast X is coming out. White Man Can't Jump come out. Little Mermaid comes out. All the. I'm not even in the June yet. And then Spider-Man. You mentioned Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right after Spider-Man and the Into the Spider-Verse is Transformers. It's Elemental, the new Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Then the Flash.
Yeah.
And then we've got later in the summer. I know we've got. I think Barbie and Oppenheimer are supposed to come out on the same day, and then Blue Beetle comes out I think in August. And
then there's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Indiana Jones comes out. It's just chock full. filled to the rim. With
Yeah, you mentioned
movie
Barbie.
goodness.
I'm curious if Elemental is just basically like a made up story about how the Cincinnati River like became to be on fire.
Whoa. What just happened there?
Oh man. Well, and so in the Guardians, like they had so many trailers in front of the Guardians. I even made a joke. I said, "Oh God, we're in that SNL skit where it
Oh
was
God.
just all trailers."
Did you
There were
did you
so
guys
many.
see the mashup that happened by accident? There was a theater that accidentally played 2 trailers at the same time, and it was like
No.
beautiful. So some by accident, a theater played Transformers and Little Mermaid at the same time,
Yeah, and they mashed those two up.
and
That's
then mash it
fantastic.
up. And what's funny is if you watch the trailer, like the music just makes because it's like the music from Little Mermaid over Transformers, and then there's like half the screen is like Little Mermaid and half the screen is Transformers, and it's like the way it plays almost seems like I want to watch that movie more than either of those.
That's awesome. Yeah, we didn't. It didn't happen in ours. We had closed captioning in ours, but that didn't happen.
I'll have to send you the link. Aaron Thick sent it to us.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
But on that, guys, it is time to move on because it is now time to start some rumors.
What rumor? What are we doing? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know where to get in it.
All right.
I'm on
Woohoo!
mute and I didn't know it. You ready for some rumors? We got a bunch of rumors, a bunch of movie rumors. Frey, you want to start it off?
Sure. So, in knowing is half the battle,
G.I. Joe!
we got. It sounds like Paramount Pictures is looking at developing another GI Joe movie. So the news comes from franchise producer Lorenzo di Bonaventura. All right,
Uh-huh.
did I say that right? Okay. Who reveals that the new movie is born from a failed attempt to make a G.I. Joe series. During a recent interview with Collider, Di Bonaventura revealed that he and a creative team attempted to develop the TV series with Amazon Studios and Paramount Pictures. Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, man, that's a long name, said, "We actually developed a pilot with Amazon. This was before Paramount Plus, just as Paramount Plus is coming in. It didn't pan out. We're in a lot of conversations about what to do with it as a film. And so I would have to say, most likely, you're going to see that come to fruition. How soon is always impossible to say. For a long time, there were no active conversations. There's a lot going on right now." So basically, he's saying a whole lot of stuff, and he doesn't know.
He's like word
just
salad,
not
words, writer's strike, so we're not doing it right now.
Right. He's probably going, "Phew, writer strike." So I actually have an excuse. So the last attempt. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say G.I. Joe is a huge IP that they just haven't gotten right yet. Like there's been, we talked about summer blockbuster movies. They tried, but it just did. Even throwing The Rock into it, it didn't quite work.
No.
So,
I mean, they tried so much with this, and then a concept that should have been awesome. Let's make a Snake Eyes movie. Everybody loves this character. Did not pan out at all. I mean, it's kind of like the part of the problem is they don't have anybody who's going into the series that has like a true reverence for GI Joe. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing how they're doing Transformers. You're starting to see, what they're doing with a lot of these series and these franchises, and it's like what they did. The only thing they did right is they made characters look cool, but they never did anything like the right way. You know, they never the writing was never there for any of the Transformers movies, and they probably thought, oh well, we can get away with just doing mindless action because it's GI Joe. But it's like we want story, we want substance, and make these characters not just look cool, make them just be cool in general. You know, and we haven't really gotten that out of any of the films that they've tried to make. You know, they're trying to do the '80s formula, and it's not working.
Yeah, and they either with the '80s stuff, the thing that seems to eat, there are two ways to do it. Either you do it ultra realistic with the essence of each character, or you go total camp with it.
Yeah,
And you can either do one or the other, because like they did it with the Brady Bunch, they did it. They've done it with other cartoons. I think like He-Man, they did it with He-Man. Like
right.
they've done other stuff, and I think that's where it's going. Is they don't know what they want it to be, and then they also don't have someone that's so behind it and just loves it and
Right.
wants to fight for each character. And I think that also hurts
I
it,
think
because it
I
was
think
a
a good
cool show.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a Kevin Feige, they don't have a James
Yeah.
Gunn, they don't have, you know, they don't have the people who love the franchise enough that they want to do it justice. You know what I mean? That's who
Right.
they need to find in order to do something right with GI Joe.
Yeah. I mean, they could make it almost a boys style thing, because if you think about it, Black Noir is a lot like Snake Eyes.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, and I mean, if they did something like that where they made it really, really like not like that, but like made it more realistic and gritty, they could do it and it would do really well. It's like they go, well, let's just dip our toes in this. They don't just go, okay, we're just full steam going into this. If they just pick their
you got to
direction
pull
and
a
win.
Barbie. You got to pull a Barbie and
Yeah.
like lean into it.
Yeah.
either that, or I think that if they went the route of like Winter Soldier, where it's like, you know, it's very much a comic book movie, but it's very much an espionage movie at the same time.
Right.
Like I think if they followed GI Joe Retribution, which was a really good cartoon, by the way, if they followed the storyline of GI Joe Retribution, I think that they could have a hit on their hands. It's just they don't listen to people like us. They listen to people who think they know about making money, and they make the wrong moves because it's like, well, this made money in the past. That's not how this works. You need to get the essence of why we love these franchises and make a film from that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Tacos on the table.
I'm not
Oh.
done yet.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
There's actually a whole nother sentence. The last attempt to make a G.I. Joe movie was in 2021, Snake Eyes, what we were talking about, which was a decent attempt, but it still didn't quite get what the awesomeness of G.I. Joe, what a G.I. Joe movie could be. So, I mean, hopefully they're going to go for something like that. But, you know, hey, maybe the next attempt will get it right?
No,
Maybe.
No.
Now we can do tacos on the table.
Tacos on the table. Do you guys think that another GI Joe movie is happening?
Frey, where are your
think it's
tacos?
time. I think tacos on the table. I think we deserve a G.I. Joe renaissance.
I like it.
That's good.
Are your tacos on the table for this?
Yeah, you know, I'm really hopeful for, because Frey kind of hit it. It's like it's either you go campy with it or you lean into it. And I like your take on like involving a little espionage, making it Winter Soldiery.
Yeah.
You know, like that's it. Yeah. I think there's enough IP out there that's been sort of reused and kind of dipping into nostalgia where you can make G.I. Joe work now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
You can make it a crazy, like you know what formula is the best one to follow for stuff like this is James Bond.
Oh yeah. Or like, I mean, Jack Ryan, they had the Amazon show Jack Ryan. Like you can do something like that. Like that is something that's really cool. And it's all about like, oh, these factions. And then you meet someone there. So you could meet Scarlett at one of these places and pick her up along the way. You can introduce people more organically than what they're just like, hey, there's just a whole bunch of people. These are all my friends. Let's go and stop a bad guy.
The reason I bring up James Bond is because James Bond is a very grounded character. Like, it's like this person could be real in real life, but then there's so many like fantastical, out of this world, crazy things that happen in James Bond movies that is like you can suspend your disbelief, and it's like you can do something that is a realistic espionage movie, but at the same time, and it'd be a counterterrorism kind of thing because that's what Cobra is, and give us, these fantastical characters, a la James Bond. Like, you would believe that Destro is a character that could actually be around. You believe that Cobra Commander is an actual character. Like, just you can make these characters believable in a world where it's also, okay, this is a movie and this stuff doesn't really exist. You know what I mean?
And you can also give fan service too. You don't necessarily have to. I mean, you don't have to highlight the cool costumes. You could make it like, okay, we're going to be in this most of the time, and then bam, the costume. This is our upgrade or whatever, like they do in other movies.
They tried that in the first G.I. Joe, and I didn't like the way that they did. They went about it. Again, like
they were posing too much in the first G.I. Joe movie. It was like, let's pose with our guns. Let's pose with the beret. Let's pose here. And it was like, no, guys, just be
but then
soldiers.
Like the Cobra Commander reveal and everything like that, and just the way that they went about Cobra Commander within that in the second movie, it was just terrible. Like, I would much rather have never seen Cobra Commander's face, and you just have this dude behind a shroud that is just a complete terrorist monster that just wants to destroy the world,
like the man behind the curtain. Like, you could totally do man behind.
Like I said, like Retribution, what was cool about, and this is not cool, but it was the way that they introduced that character is he shoots a missile into the UN building, and it turns out not to be a missile, has a screen pop out, and he introduces himself as Cobra Commander and is like, if you don't follow my demands, I will destroy a city on this planet. And I will continue to every day. I will continue to destroy a city until you meet my demands. And then he blows up Moscow, and it brings like the world together, right? It's basically like, I'm showing you I mean business. Like, he nukes Moscow because he's just showing everybody like, I am a monster, and I will kill everybody in order to get the things that I want. That's what I
wanted to unite the world. That's all he wanted to do. He just wanted everyone to be united. And
right. My taco's on the table. I do believe that Paramount is making a film only because they're not going to leave money on the table. The question is, are they making something that is going to live up to the hype of G.I. Joe, or is going to make it's going to elevate G.I. Joe, or are they just making another movie just to keep the IP?
Yeah, I hope it's not keeping the IP. That would.
Yeah, I think they're pushing with it too. This could easily be a film, and then maybe there's a backstory on Snake Eyes that's a series, or a backstory on Scarlet that's a series on Amazon, or Paramount Plus. But we'll see. All right,
it would be great if they just did solo movies for each of them, like origin movies for each of them.
I would like that.
That would be awesome.
I would like if they started going the Marvel route and just said, okay, let's do series and movies that live in the cinematic universe. But we do have another story to get to, because we will talk about this all night. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Adam Driver. A couple of weeks ago, it was reported that Marvel Studios offered Adam Driver the role of Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. Over the weekend, an update on that popped up on Twitter from MCU leaker My Time to Shine Hello, who reports that Driver has officially accepted the offer and that he will be Reed Richards in the MCU. Guys, I'm still on the same kind of like wavelength, not against Adam Driver, but I don't think he'll do it because of the commitment for the character. Everybody's talking and saying that, oh, well, Driver's going to do this and he's going to do that. He hasn't confirmed or denied any talks with Marvel at all. So it's kind of like, he's been really tight-lipped about it. So, I mean, like, everybody's going to continue talking and saying that, oh, yeah, well, Adam Driver this, Adam Driver that. Until I hear something, it's going to be hearsay to me. But it's like, again, I think he would be a decent Reed Richards. I think he'd be a better Doctor Doom. But it's like, But I mean, does he want to commit to another long-term character that's even bigger than Kylo Ren?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Did you see his SNL science room thing where he was playing the science teacher that he
No,
did a couple of years ago? Watch that, and it'll convince if you don't think if he would be a good Reed Richards, that shows you some of his range in that aspect.
like
But
I
I
said,
do,
he would be a
I
good.
think he's a commitment phobe. I
Yeah.
do. I think he's a commitment phobe. So
I think he'd be a way better Victor, honestly. I think that he's one of those guys that can play that character really well. I guess, I mean, the downside is him wearing a mask again, but I mean, like, the whole big thing being that when they finally do that face reveal, like, they put a like tiny little scar under his eye, and I mean, he's a good enough looking
or
dude.
across his eye in silver. I mean, no.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, he's a good enough looking dude that he could pull off the narcissism from.
Oh yeah.
Again, I just don't think he is like the most handsome dude in existence, but I mean,
We all know you have a man crush on him. Just
I mean, no, I don't. I think
Crushing
it's
hard.
big.
That's
Yeah,
exactly what somebody
You
that's
can't
crushing
stop
hard.
talking about Adam Driver.
I think his ears are big and his nose is giant. I'm not super attracted to the dude, but he's
The harder you say you're not, the more we think you are.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm just throwing it up there. Him versus Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds all day.
Well, duh.
Ryan Reynolds is classic handsome. That guy's he's beautiful.
Ryan Reynolds is open-minded as hell.
And then
So
and
that's-
same thing with Rob McElhenney. Like Rob McElhenney is a very handsome dude.
Mhm. You should get involved with Charlie Day, and then you
Charlie
guys
Day is amazing. I love Charlie Day.
romance the hell out of each other, just like all four of you.
I
Like
love
a
Charlie,
bromance quartet.
right? Like how would it work if I found a way to become friends with Charlie Day? And it's
Never
like
see you again.
Charlie Day are like just sarcastic blood brothers.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw my shirt.
Oh yeah.
But tacos on the table. Do you guys think that he's accepted a role as Reed Richards?
Totally
No
on the
tacos
table.
on the table. Nope.
All the tacos on the table. I like this. It's gonna
I
happen.
need my
I think it's
tacos
gonna
for
happen.
myself.
I don't know. My tacos are off the table right now, and it's not because I don't think he'd make a good Reed Richards. I think it has more to do with his the things that he said about committing to roles in the past.
Yeah, me too. That's why I don't want to put him on the tables because I don't know. I think he's considering it, and he may be negotiating on okay, how many, what kind of time commitment am I going to be able to do things in between and things like that. And I think that's where we are right now. So, but I think he's stalling.
I know he still wants to continue doing his indie movies. He still wants to do movies that he can get Oscar nominations for and things like that. I know that's been kind of a big thing for him, that he's been like wanting to do smaller roles. But I mean, maybe he does commit. Maybe he does say, okay, you know what, Reed Richards is the role of a lifetime. I'm going to do Reed Richards.
Yeah. I can't put my tacos on the table yet. I need confirmation.
Oh, it's coming. That's the confirmation. All right, let's keep going. As director Wes Ball is finishing his Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie, a new report surfaced claiming Disney Plus is currently developing a Planet of the Apes series. Interesting. So the upcoming film is supposed to be like an all-new chapter for the Planet of the Apes saga, picking up many years after the conclusion of the 2017's War for the Planet of the Apes. And then the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is coming out May 24th, 2024, so like a year away. Do you think Disney Plus is making a series?
Tacos are on the table 100%.
Really?
I don't see Disney leaving money off the table for this. It's such a good franchise already. The movies have been amazing. I arguably better than the originals. And no, that's no hate on Charlton Heston, but I mean, just these movies are so well written, and the characters.
Keep going, Phil.
Okay, and the characters are so well done. This is definitely something that I feel that they're going towards, and to expand on that story, a series makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird though, because I don't know if Disney Plus is the place for Planet of the Apes. Is that weird?
Well, if they go with the rated R rating kind of stuff that they've been planning on doing and everything like that, if they start doing like higher level rated content, then I mean that's where that could go. I mean, Planet of the Apes is already only PG-13 to begin with. I mean, like you look at well, I guess Willow's not a good example, but I mean, kind of like some of the stuff. Like some of the stuff they did with Willow was kind of dark, and it was really good, even though, obviously it's getting canceled. But I mean, I don't see them not going in on this.
Well, like Moon Knight.
Moon Knight actually is a really good example.
Because it's dark. It's dark, and it deals with a lot of like serious issues. So I could see that, but I just don't care. I honestly, I mean, yeah, it's Planet of the Apes. I just don't. It's not that I don't care about Planet of the Apes. I just feel like it's run its course. We're going to be zombies before we're going to be apes. I think they need to give it about 10 years and then do it again.
I think. Okay, so are they going to do it? Maybe, but my tacos are off the table. It feels weird having Planet of the Apes on the same streamer as like National Geographic. I don't think they're gonna do it.
That's a little odd.
Here's a series about monkeys taking over the world, and here's a series about real monkeys.
Yeah, exactly. And here's what monkeys are doing right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Unless
tacos,
they
where are your
make
tacos,
it
everybody?
A documentary style Planet of the Apes movie, that would be great. If they reinvented it, put it on the National Geographic part of Disney Plus and made it documentary style, I would totally watch it.
What would be dope is if it was like in the future and it's like an orangutan documenting humans.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
That would be so dope.
But right now, no. I don't. My tacos are nowhere near the table.
My tacos are on the table. I think Disney knows where money-making franchises are, and I think that, I mean, if they're developing Indiana Jones and they're putting Star Wars and they're putting all the Marvel series and everything like that, and they're going into these niche markets, I don't see them not doing it, especially because they own the franchise and they're not going to not do something with it.
Yeah. So totally different topic, but have you guys seen Star Wars Visions 2 yet? I haven't.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode and it was very good, but very different.
Was it? So,
the art style it kind of threw me off a little bit.
Oh, they're actually already it's reported that they're actually developed the Visions season 3 now, right?
Yeah.
So it's according, so Disney Plus recently released that, what we were just talking about, volume 2. And according to One Take News, Lucasfilm has already started developing Star Wars Visions volume 3. So
I'm in.
Yeah, I was going to say, Star Wars Vision's going to be a May the 4th trend.
Yeah, my tacos are on the table for this 100%. I don't see... I see that they're seeing success with allowing other studios to develop animation for Star Wars. And it's giving a lot of people who probably never thought that they would ever be able to do a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
A chance to do Star Wars. And they're doing it. I mean, they're They're also outsourcing to studios outside, so they don't have to worry about their timetables. Like each episode, that you basically have a year to do one episode,
Right.
So it's like, we don't have to worry about, getting on top of everybody to do this stuff.
Also, maybe get around the Writers Guild of America.
It's true.
Ooh, good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that this is going to be a May 4th trend now, because the last 2 May 4ths they've released Star Wars Visions and they've been a hit each time. So
yeah. Well, it's such a good. I mean, it's a really great. What am I trying to say? It's a really great. Like, it highlights different people, it and different studios and all this stuff, and so you get all these different visions.
Right.
And I like that it's called Visions, and it's not really canon unless they really like it, and then they'll bring it into canon. And so I think that I could see this being a yearly thing, as long as it sparks conversation and people watch it, they'll keep doing it.
Absolutely. Again,
So,
they're already talking about bringing in the Ronin, because he's such a loved character. Like, people loved him in season 1 so much that people are talking about, like, they've been talking about for a while of doing an entire series about the Ronin.
and I think that'd be great, because I mean, he was really cool. And yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any of the season 2 yet. I'm waiting for when my son comes back. We're gonna watch them, all of us. And but yeah, I really loved the first season, and now I really think that the second season, because it wasn't just like Japanese anime, so it's like, yeah, now it's all these different kinds, and I could just see them keeping doing, because there are all these little animation studios that really need to be out there and highlighted, and just don't get enough. There's not as much of a market for the little studios as there is for like little production companies. Right. And so I think this is a great thing for that. And I know it's a Dave Filoni baby. Like, he's doing it specifically to give the animators a platform. So yeah. I think as long as Filoni is in good with everybody, I think they're going to keep doing it. So my tacos are totally on the table for this.
Yep. I completely agree. I watched all of season 2 the first night that it came out. It's super good. And on top of that, think about it this way. This is a way for them to, like what you said, introduce new characters, different stories in small little bits, see what works, see what doesn't. It's great for like their merchandising too. Like, as soon as Ronin came out, there were Funko Pops. There were t-shirts with a Ronin already. Like,
they knew he was going to be a hit. They knew it was like, oh yeah, this guy.
Well, I mean, the thing about Star Wars is it's always been a toy haven. I mean, it's that's where the whole toy thing started. Was they did the Hasbro thing, and it was like, oh yeah, you can pre-order all these toys.
Oh, Kenner.
Kenner. Sorry. Yeah. I said Hasbro. I'm sorry. I got Hasbro on the brain. Anyway,
right back there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that it's always been that way. So I definitely think that it's a hit, and it's a hit on a platform that they want viewers to stay and to be loyal to. So
yeah. And on Disney Plus level, it just feeds them content and feeds them something that they can use. Like, hey, this is a selling point, is we're giving you brand new Star Wars content, so that's exclusive to Disney Plus. But let's keep going. I have more Star Wars news.
All right.
Yay!
Oh, dude, bring it on. Let's go.
EA has confirmed that there's a new RTS Star Wars game in the works with Respawn Entertainment.
Ooh, yes.
Right? But there appears to be another RTS Star Wars game from a different developer in the pipeline as well. So VGC's Andy Robinson noted that a different unannounced RTS Star Wars game is coming soon, and we won't have to wait long to learn more. Ooh.
You know what I think it is, honestly?
Wait, explain what RTS is.
Real-time strategy. So this is going to be like God, what are good examples of real-time strategy games?
I don't like real-time strategy. I want
RTS games.
to be able to think of my strategy for many minutes
Oh,
before
so
I do it.
you're a turn-based strategy kind of person then.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
So yeah, you weren't expecting me to give you an answer to that. So no, this is what I think is happening. So a lot of games have been getting remastered lately. They've been bringing back like, oh hey, here's a game that was really good that people really liked, and let's give people a taste of these games and bring them back. I know Respawn's working on an all original IP for an RTS, but those of you out there that have played old school RTS games possibly have played Empire at War, which was a real-time strategy game where you essentially played as the Empire taking over the entire universe. And you went to each planet and took over each planet, and you could get Vader as a hero character and things like that. I think that they're remastering Empire at War to bring that back.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I love
I'll watch that.
It was such a good game because like once like basically it's kind of cool because like, you know, once you take over certain planets, then you unlock like more tech trees. And when you take over Mon Calamari, you get the ability to build larger class cruisers. So then you can build the Executor.
Oh, that's cool.
And then you can like build like larger Star Destroyers and stuff like that. Like it's dope the way that they have it. And then of course, eventually once your empire is big enough, you can build the Death Star and you can actually like destroy other planets with it.
I think my son would like all these because I think he really digs stuff like that. He plays like he plays Stellaris still, and
okay,
he plays like a lot of stuff where you build the empire and you make it like you can, I don't know, he's playing like a Westeros one right now, and I don't know what it's called, but and he's just like, yeah, so they're fighting again, and I'm having to keep them in order. So he likes that kind of stuff. So I think he'd really like this.
Yeah, I mean, he may already know about it. Ask him if he knows about Empire at War next time you talk to him.
Okay, I will.
I'm sure Sewong is not in the chat anymore, but I mean, if Sewong, if you're still there, let me know if you played Empire at War, man, because that definitely is a if you're into RTS games and you, especially if you played Dune back in the late 90s, then you had to have played Empire at War.
Cool.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
So I got something. I love something.
Yeah.
What do you got?
It's at first. That's Star Wars. There we go. Hey, there's the big boy Blue Scout guy.
Big boy Blue Scout?
Yeah, I did it on purpose. So the symbol means hope. I don't think it does. I think it means soap. All right. Hope for the gaming community. A new Superman game may finally be happening after all these years.
They've been in development for various Superman games forever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's been like 20 years since the Man of Steel got his own game. Like nearly 20 years. Gosh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers CEO and dreamy guy about town, CEO David Zaslav, seemed to suggest during a recent investors call that we could see a new Superman game announced, game around the time of Superman Legacy. So that's like what, 2025-ish.
Mm-hmm.
A new Superman movie from James. Oh, hey, haha! If I had just read it, it would have told me. He didn't outright confirm a new game was coming, but he was speaking about how WB has the unique advantage of owning all the IP and its video game developers work on all the IP that its video game developers work on. Man. Oof. All right. And suggested people will spend more time hanging out in the Superman world and universe. What do we think?
Interesting.
Here's my take on this, because they're talking about 2025. That's not enough time to develop a game from the ground up unless they've already been developing it. I know that that Warner Brothers Montreal was talking about doing a Superman game And I know that Superman is supposed to be in the Kill the Justice League game.
Yeah.
He's the
It'll
villain.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, because that's the main reason why I don't think that game will be out in time for a movie, is because
And you got to get the flying mechanics down right.
yeah. Well, a couple years ago they put out a test of Superman flying around Metropolis, and it actually looked amazing. I think that there is a way. There is a way, especially with the way that they've developed kind of like Harry Potter and some of the other, like, flying mechanics in some other games, that they could easily do a decent Superman game. And I would want it to be something developed by like Rocksteady versus like WB Montreal, because Warner Bros. Montreal has kind of dropped the ball on the few games that they've done in the DC universe.
Yeah.
I definitely would want to see, like Rocksteady working on it, but again, like Rocksteady, especially with the non-crunch culture that they've been kind of like, pushing more towards, I don't see them getting it out by 2025.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either. Well, I mean, if the writer's strike keeps going on a long time, we may not get Superman Legacy until 2026.
Well, we're going to talk about it later, but a script was already submitted, so
Yeah, but it was a first draft.
yeah.
So
And
I mean,
he's
I could see it. Yeah, and he's directing it.
So I mean, things will happen. But about that Superman thing, when we were researching this, there was like an test version, like an Unreal Engine 5 test version of Superman flying around. It's like just a fan made it.
Yeah,
and
that's
it
what I was
looked
talking about.
awesome.
Yeah, that's
it
what I was.
Looked amazing.
Yeah,
So,
the fight mechanics that they had in that, and because they were using Unreal 5, everything in the world was fully destructible, so you can like fly Superman through a building and the whole building collapse. Like it looks awesome the way that they have it set up. My whole thing would be not just mechanics, like you would have to get down the fighting mechanics and everything like that. But then also the story is the big thing. Rocksteady is known for putting out really good stories. And again, the length of the game is another big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see a good Superman movie. Video game. Well,
Yeah.
I'd like to see a good Superman movie too, but I'd like to see a good Superman video game, because I think that we need one. I mean, it's been so long, and we've had like so many Batman games, so many, and I'd like to see that.
It's amazing. So I mean,
well, that's actually a good point, because what the Batman games do really well is that they tell their own story,
right.
where they don't have to be attached to the movie and what happens in the movie.
Right.
It's almost like its own Elseworlds thing. So
Right.
I think they can do the same thing with Superman. So tacos on the table for that.
I'm gonna put my tacos on the table.
My tacos, they're half on the table. My tacos.
There's no half tacos.
There's
no half tacos.
No, there are.
I can do half tacos.
There are.
No half tacos.
Here's my reason.
You're on or you're off.
No, there's reasoning for it. I believe that they're developing a game, but I don't think it's going to be out in 2025, the way that they're saying that they want it out by the time the movie comes out, because that is not enough development time to put a decent game out.
So that means your tacos are off the table.
For that, it comes out in 2025, but my tacos are on the table that they're actually doing a game.
Exactly. So they're off the table. There's no half tacos. That's one of the rules. There's no half tacos.
I've been doing
commit.
half tacos for like months.
You have to commit. You have to commit those tacos. There's no half tacos.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
You're not my real mom.
Yeah, I am.
You're my mom, James! You're not my mom! Stop that!
Let's get into some news.
Let's get into it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the download.
We got a lot of DC news, so good segue. In Bruce Wayne kind of money news, The Flash is one of the most anticipated films of the year, but it's not coming cheap to DC Studios. The budget was revealed, and I was actually a little nervous for this. The budget was revealed that the Flash production designer, or by the Flash production designer Paul Austerberry, during an interview, he said this
I
movie's
love Osterberries.
so good, so good, so good on your meatballs when you're shopping for furniture.
Osterberry
Yeah.
meatballs.
He said this movie is a big deal for Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers shelled out $220 million for this project. Wow.
That's a lot for a solo title.
That's also probably why Ezra Miller wasn't taken off the film.
Probably.
We already put 220 million into this movie. We're not getting rid of him. Them. Sorry, I misgendered them.
But it's kind of interesting because he went on to say the reason for the big budget price tag was because it was filmed in quotes 2 different chunks, and I'm like, wait, what is that about? So one chunk was filmed with Ezra Miller playing the present day Barry, and then the second chunk was filmed with Ezra playing Barry's younger version from the alternate timeline. I'm like, oh
yeah,
that's kind of interesting because
Yeah.
he's got to be on set, he's got to get makeup and wardrobe. So yeah, I guess they kind of have to do both. So
yeah, they probably had to change their hair and because if you look at like the trailer, there's one section where their hair is long, and there's another like when you see them looking at themselves, the other one is just like regular Ezra Miller like today. So
Yeah.
So Osterberry
Yeah,
mentioned Miller would switch roles every few days, and he added that the actor would work 6 days a week with only 3 days off during the entire shoot. So lots of pressure.
oh well, that's why they went crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess. So we do have a want to get nuts? Let's get nuts synopsis.
That's definitely something that fits Ezra Miller. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Synopsis.
In a Worlds Collide story, the Flash, Barry Allen, uses his superpowers to travel back in time. Gotta go back in time in order to change the events of his past. His successful attempt to save his family inadvertently alters the future, and Barry becomes trapped in a reality in which General Zod has returned with no superheroes to stop his terraforming plan. That is, unless Barry can coax a very different Batman out of retirement and rescue an imprisoned Kryptonian, but it's not the one we know. Ultimately, to save the world that he is in and return to the future that he knows, Barry's only hope is to race for his life, but it will make the ultimate sacrifice to be enough to reset the universe? We shall see. Let's see. The movie also stars Michael Keaton as Batman, Ben Affleck as Batman, Michael Shannon as Batman, but also playing Zod.
Ron Livingston as Batman. Maribel Verdú as Batman.
As Batman.
Everybody as Batman. The Flash is cosmic treadmilling into theaters July 16th.
June 16th, sir.
That's what I said.
One of the J months,
We'll
like
fix it. We're gonna fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll fix that in post.
I'll get on my cosmic treadmill and run back in time to fix it.
Yeah. And then it'll be all Jamez's fault.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Like I said, that's probably why they didn't recast it.
Well, you got to think like how they do twins and stuff. Like if you have the same character playing twins, and like you have to do one side and then you do the other. So I could totally see that. It makes a lot of sense.
Well, do you know what the S means? News. DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn has been working on the film script for his Superman Legacy for months, and The Wrap has reported that he turned in the draft last week, right before the writer's strike, and the movie isn't expected to be affected by the strike, as production on the film won't start until early 2024. Gunn is also directing the film, which will tell the story of Superman's journey to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as Clark Kent of Smallville, Kansas. So he's from Kansas. I'm from Kansas. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way, guided by human kindness in a world that sees kindness as old-fashioned.
So I have a
Keep saying
question
kindness.
before. So in what world is Kansas like the big like hub of America?
It's not. The idea is supposed to be that he learns his American morals from small town America.
Yeah, but isn't Metropolis like super close to Smallville? Like it's like
Not supposed to be.
oh, it's supposed to be like he has to travel halfway across it. Because like in Smallville, the TV show, and see, I always thought that when I was reading the comics, I was always like, oh, well, Smallville's it's New York. Or it's like, you know, someplace like New York. And that Smallville is in Kansas. And so they're relatively halfway across the country from
Yeah.
each other.
That's
But
what
then but in the show, Metropolis was like an hour's drive. So I
Yeah.
was like, what the heck?
they did that for the show to make it so that it was like, you know, everything was easier to get to, and it wasn't like
Okay.
they were going back and forth between Metropolis and Smallville. Like they wanted to go back and forth between both locations, and it wouldn't make sense if they were super far away and they had to keep going the way they did.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it would make sense for Clark because he's freaking Superman and he can
Yeah,
do
he
that.
can do
But
that. Yeah.
you know, when you have Lex Luthor being from Smallville and going back and forth, because that's another retcon is that Lex is
Yeah.
from Smallville. But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things is that he's supposed to be from Smallville, Kansas, and Metropolis is supposed to be a coastal city.
Yeah. So it's like small town boy makes it big in the big city kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Even in the Snyderverse, they retcon some of that stuff because like Metropolis is supposed to be New York, where Gotham is supposed to be Chicago.
Oh yeah. Well,
And-
I always thought that Gotham was Boston.
No, yeah, Gotham is
Oh, it's
supposed
supposed to be Chicago. Okay.
Technically, they're both based on New York, but they're both based on like different versions of it. But
Mhm.
later on, they made it more like Gotham was Chicago and Metropolis is New York. And in the Snyderverse, they retconned that and made them like right across the harbor from each other.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
But
Are they really? I didn't know about that. And
in the Snyderverse?
yeah,
Watch no, it wasn't Justice League. It was
Batman versus
Batman versus
Superman, Dawn of Wonder Woman.
yeah. If you watch BVS, there's a scene where Lex is gonna drop was it his mother off of LexCorp Tower?
No, it was Lois. He dropped Lois off the
Lois.
LexCorp.
Right.
Yeah.
And Clark is in Gotham and he flies across the harbor from like he can basically see LexCorp Tower from Gotham.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Oh,
I remember that. I just, for some reason, always thought that it was supposed to be Boston. I don't know why.
Yeah. No,
Someone probably told me at one point, and I just went, "Oh, okay."
yeah, no, Gotham again, technically they're both based on New York. But it's supposed to be like different versions of New York. But yeah, so continuing on, when talking about the type of actor Gunn is looking to cast in the role, he said, "It's hard, but we're looking, and we actually have some really great choices, which I'm excited about. But it has to be somebody who has all of the humanity that Superman has, but he's also an alien. It's got to be someone who has the kindness and the compassion that Superman has, and it has to be somebody that you want to give a hug." Superman Legacy's pre-production began last month and will usher in the live-action film part of DC Studios' Gods and Monsters Chapter 1, which I'm so excited for.
Me too.
Followed by The Brave and the Bold, Supergirl, Swamp Thing, and more. Superman Legacy will fly into theaters July 11th, 2025.
somebody to give a hug to. This Superman's
It's
going to
Al.
be played by Adam Driver.
Al.
No.
No, you know, that would be really funny. It would be really funny if Adam Driver decided not to do Reed Richards and then said, "I'll be your Batman." That would be really funny.
Batty, activate.
Bat Driver.
He-
Okay. So,
He throws his bat ears at people.
yeah, exactly. He's like, "Let me detach my nose." All right. In Zaslav is really a robot news.
Truth.
Warner
true.
Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav, and everybody's favorite Cyberman, gave DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn a ringing endorsement. He spoke about Gunn's DC Studios during a recent earnings call and the direction of the studio. Zaslav expressed confidence in Gunn and Safran's plan. Quote, "We got Gunn and Safran working very hard on DC, which is going to be a very big growth driver for this company. We are very bullish on DC." End quote. Zaslav continued, "The Superman script first draft is done. Gunn is on a mission from God. It
On a
is
mission.
really good moment to prove out on DC what we got and how strong it is globally for long-term sustainable growth."
Beep
End quote.
boop beep boop beep beep
Beep, beep,
boop.
beep, boop.
Zaslav touted
End
Warner Brothers.
transmission.
Right? Zaslav touted Warner Brothers' commitment to generating meaningful creative momentum in its 100th year and hailed DC's The Flash as one of the films that will help get the studio back on track. "We got some more movies that are better. We have been working hard on fixing them and enhancing them and investing. We said no movie before its time. And with Barbie and Flash, we have two very good movies." The DC studio slate for this year is The Flash on June 16th, Blue Beetle on August 18th, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom on December 20th.
I think James, when he wrote that line, meant for you to go end quote.
No, I wrote all that.
Oh, you wrote that?
I wrote the whole thing.
It would have been funny if you just ended it with end quote.
End quote. Yeah. I thought about doing that and I was like, no, I think it's enough robot voice.
You want to do the robot
You
voice.
commit to the line. You have to commit to it, right?
But you know what's interesting? Zaslav, when you kind of look back at things, it's going to be a little Kathleen Kennedy-ish where we all make fun of Kathleen Kennedy and Zaslav, but like when you look at their body of work and what's going to be coming out during their I guess tenure, it's like he's putting out a brand new DC universe. He's putting out a brand new Harry Potter. Like Zaslav is swinging for the fences,
Yeah,
He's
but you know
giving us content.
what he's not putting out? Batgirl. That's what he's not putting out. Until I get a Batgirl, I don't like him.
Yeah, everything I hear about that movie is nothing but good. And it's like, why? Why did you not put that out?
Did you ask David Chung about Batgirl? Because he was in Batgirl. You talked to somebody that was in Batgirl.
I talked to David Chung about it, and David Chung just...
I'm asking Frey.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah. I mean, I did. I said, so what about Batgirl? And he was like, well, it's not coming out. That's all he was saying. I was like, come on, dude, tell me something.
Yeah, I got a chance to see a scene because of him. But I mean, I got excited with what I saw and was just like, we're never going to be able to see this.
Yeah, that's what, and, just make a new one. You know what I'm saying? Let James Gunn make a new one. Make a Birds of Prey. Do a Batgirl and then a Birds of Prey. And then I'll be fine. I'll be happy.
Birds of Prey this time. Like, not that I didn't like the last Birds of Prey. I actually enjoyed what they did with that. But I mean, like, there were certain characters that weren't in that were just like, okay. Like,
and I'd much rather it be like the comic where it's, where you've got Barbara Gordon in the kind of, she's the leader, but she's also the one that's in the K or she was in the clock tower, and she's directing everyone. She was kind of the brains behind the operation. And I really liked that. I really loved that concept of an all-female team that was led by a female who was extremely intelligent, and they got things done, and they did it in a way that was professional and efficient. And I loved it. And you weren't, it wasn't, hey, look at our boobs. Hey, look at our ass. It was just, they were doing good works.
Well, like they made Huntress look badass. They made Black
Mhm.
Canary look badass. I mean, as hot as she was, like
Mhm.
Black Canary was actually. I wanted a little more out of Black Canary. As
Yeah.
badass as they made her look, I wanted more of the martial arts. I wanted the Canary Call. Like I kind of wanted certain things with that character that we didn't get.
Yeah.
But I mean, she was still cool nonetheless.
I would love all of the actors that did them in the Harley Quinn and the
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey Harley Quinn movie. I would love all of them to be back for it. I thought they did really, really great jobs with what they had, and I thought they really got the essence of the characters.
Mhm.
I just think that I would love to have something that is more reminiscent of the comic book.
And then of course,
could-
as Black Mask.
Yeah. Oh God.
I could see James Gunn like maybe what is it, chapter 2 of the DC. Like I could see him doing something like bringing some kind of justice to justice to the whole situation, and bringing in Batgirl, bringing in the Birds of Prey, and telling a good story, and kind of making right, because he's such a big fan. Shout out to Cindy. What's up, Cindy? Hey guys. But yeah,
Hi, Cindy.
I let's keep going. We got more DC. I'm dying. Forget it. You keep going. Go on. All right, we got a holy shit Batman news. Oh my goodness, who's swearing? Justice League War World, the next animated film from Warner Bros. Animation. I didn't even know that they were going to put this out. And Warner Brothers Discovery Home Entertainment is coming. According to a new listing on filmrating.com, Justice League War World has officially been rated R for some bloody violence. Ooh, I dig this.
See this. So if they're doing War World, this is this is a New Gods storyline, right?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure this is a New God storyline. So, I mean, like, this can get really brutal depending on the characters they introduce.
Yeah, it could. And I mean, I could see if they're going up against like Darkseid or Orion or different, the New Gods or whatever. Yeah, Mongo. Sorry.
Wait,
I was thinking of Chris Kattan just being all like, I'm Mongo.
I was saying Mongo's not a New God though, right? Mongo the Conqueror was he's just a spacefaring dude, right?
Yeah, he's like a yellow guy, right?
Yes. Mongo the Conqueror is a really dope character. Like what's funny is when they showed him in the Justice League cartoon, he was just like an orange Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
Like he looks like Darkseid, but he's just orange.
He reminded me more of like the Hulk.
Kind of, but I mean, like he's I would say he's more like not Professor Hulk, but who's the bad version of Hulk with the beard?
Oh, Maestro.
He reminds me more of Maestro, if anything, because Mongo is very intelligent. He's very much a major threat in the DC universe. Like he is like a Darkseid level threat. He's not as strong as Darkseid, but he's a lot more cunning.
Yeah, and I think, I could see that.
Yeah,
I do have a bloody violence synopsis.
Bloody violence synopsis.
In Justice League War World, until now, the Justice League has been a loose association of superpowered individuals, but when they are swept away to War World, a place of unending, brutal, gladiatorial combat, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the others must somehow unite to form an unbeatable resistance able to lead an entire planet to freedom.
I remember the storyline now. So this is not a New God storyline. I do think that Mongo is involved in this, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it sounds more like he is. Yeah, Mongol. Yeah. Yeah, I remember this. I remember when they were like, and I think doesn't it take place on like a planet with a red sun or something, and so Superman's not as powerful.
Right. So it's there's a dying star. Superman's not as powerful as he normally would be. That's why he actually has to like fight along with everyone else. I want to say in the storyline that I remember, like they team up with Mongol in this one.
Yeah, I don't think it was. It's an odd thing. Like there's a lot of different characters in that where you're just kind of like, interesting they put them in there. So
Yeah, 'cause
it's
from
the
what I
same
remember in the
storyline I'm thinking of.
storyline, yeah, what I remember when they make it to when they get to War World, they see Mongol and they immediately get ready to like just beat the crap out of him because they automatically assume he's doing something bad. And he explains to them what's going on, and he's like, "If we're ever going to get out of this place, we need to work together." And they actually work with Mongol. I don't know if they're going to do that in this because if they haven't introduced Mongol within this movie universe that they have, then I don't see them like like teaming up with Mongol, on this. But I mean, like, maybe they make Mongol the one that's running War World.
Yeah, that could be it.
I love DC animated movies. I think they're
They
so good.
really they own animation right now. They really do. We
Totally.
watched Hush though, and I have spoiler alert. I have a problem with Hush.
Do you?
It is not. It's not what happened in the comics. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, yeah, there's the issue with some of that, and that's kind of what I was mentioning is like, you're probably not going to get the same story in War World as you would in the comics because some characters haven't been introduced yet. But I mean, it's the same thing in Hush. Like, you're not really going to get some of that. Same thing with like Long Halloween. You're not going to get a proper Long Halloween because some of the characters haven't been introduced.
I thought they did a pretty good job with Long Halloween, but yeah, Hush, I was just like, that's not who Hush is, you bastards. But anyway,
Justice League War World will be released sometime this bloody, violent summer.
I'm excited. I love any DC animation, so I'm excited.
Okay, let's round out this DC news because Jim Lee, who has been acting as publisher and chief creative officer of DC since 2018, has been named president of DC Comics. I'm down with this. I'm
100% down with this. Jim Lee is easily one of my favorite artists in the history of comics.
Yeah. Lee made a name for himself as DC's crosstown rival Marvel in the early 90s and was a founding member of Image Comics, a publisher founded by 7 former Marvel and DC artists back in 1992. At Image, each of the founders had their own publishing imprint, with Lee's being Wildstorm and a brand that he brought to DC in 1998.
Yep, I actually applied to be the secretary at Wildstorm.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
And met Jim Lee, and John Nee was there at the time as well. And yeah, I didn't get it, but it was cool. I made contacts, and so I'm acquainted. I'm acquainted with. No, I can't. I was gonna say I'm acquainted with Jim Lee, but he doesn't know who I am. He did meet my son in an elevator when my son was 2.
Oh, how cool! That's awesome.
They almost saw eye to eye.
You should just email him and be like, hey, I tried to apply to be your secretary back in
You interviewed me like, I don't know, a long time ago to be a secretary, and I didn't get it. But hey, you want to do me a big favor?
He might be one of those guys that like remembers people like that. It's like, oh yeah, no, I remember you. I remember doing the interview. I'm sorry you didn't get the job.
Yeah. But I remember your son. I looked him in the eye.
Yeah, but be like, hey, we have a podcast and we do nerdy stuff. We would love to interview you sometime. Not that I'm saying actually do that, but I mean, like,
no, I mean, it's one of those like
artwork.
Yeah, he does some really good stuff. I mean, I'm a George Perez girl. I always will be until the day I die. But Jim Lee, he really knows how to draw people. He really does. He does. And Hush, and he did Hush.
Yes, he did.
And he really revitalized Batman with that storyline. And so, yeah.
Well, there's a Lego Jim Lee art kit. And I want to get that. And then back in the day when me and James were at Hardly Heroes, I got.
This is based off his New 52 Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, he made New 52.
Yeah.
Well, he was in New 52, but yeah. But like, yeah, back in the day when me and James were at Hardly Heroes, one of the things I got for their studio was a signed Jim Lee lithograph of one of the Batman covers that he did. And yeah, no, it's I love Jim Lee so much.
There was a at San Diego Comic Con one year. There was a lithograph of Wonder Woman, Supergirl, and Power Girl, and I so wanted it, but I'd already spent all my money. I couldn't get it. I was like, I want that because
I bought it. You want to see it? I have it right here.
Power Girl, every 14-year-old boy's wet dream.
I love Power Girl. I love her.
Power
She's
Girl.
like one of my favorites.
Power Girl is so ridiculously hot. See, she's too hot. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
All right, Lee will
I have
continue.
a story about that, and we'll talk
Okay,
about
go ahead.
some other time. No,
Yeah.
I was going to say we can talk about it some other time, but remind me, and I'll tell you because Butch Geist did a Power Girl picture for me, and there's a story behind it. So, but go ahead.
That comes in the bonus episode? I like this. Yep. This is good. Good tease. Good tease. Lee will continue his primary duties as publisher at DC Comics, and also leads creative efforts to integrate DC's publishing portfolio of characters and stories across all media, supporting Warner Brothers Discovery's family of brands and studios. Congrats, Mr. Jim Lee. Good for him.
I think he's going to work really well with James Gunn.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. That he's going to be doing like supporting material. So like, I wonder if they're going to do an entire line that lives within the movie universe and just tells like, you know, additional stories for things that we don't see on screen.
It could, like, he could do supplemental stuff like that, or you've got Jim Lee, who really does know the essence of all these characters, because not only does he draw them, but he's a huge comic book fan.
Yeah,
and to have him and James do it, I'm wondering, because like I know James loves the Authority, I love the Authority, but I also know that Jim Lee really likes the Authority as well. So it's like, it's almost like that you have such a good creative team that can communicate to each other in their own language, and so that's going to be really cool in that comic book language. And I think it's a good thing. I was wondering who they were going to get to take over the comic book section, because I know they had some people leave, and I'm happy that it's Jim Lee. He's been doing it for so long, and he's just been plugging away at it, and he's such a good hype man for the brand that I just can absolutely see. I just see this as a total win.
I dig it. I'm so down with this. Just think, there's all this stuff that came from Image that he did that's now part of DC, but they just haven't utilized yet.
Right.
Oh,
they're going to be integrating Wildstorm into this. I mean, I'm excited to see that.
Oh, definitely. I think, you know, and Jim Lee's not afraid to highlight artists and writers that are good artists and writers just for the sake of highlighting them. You know what I mean? Like just saying, hey, they're really good. Let's do their project next, kind of thing. So
right. Well, jumping out of DC news here, guys. It's time to ride off into the sunset for one cowboy. As expected.
Bye-bye.
Huh?
I said bye-bye.
Bye-bye. As expected, Kevin Costner will not return to the Yellowstone series after season 5. The news comes after reports of all kinds of behind-the-scenes drama between Costner and co-star Taylor Sheridan. Sorry. There's no update on when the cast and crew are going to return to Montana, where the series is filmed, to finish shooting season 5's remaining episodes. Regardless of Costner's leaving the show, series actor Cole Hauser, who plays Rip Wheeler on the series,
Wheeler
confirmed the show will get a season 6 and a season 7. So Costner's just taking off and is just done with you know, being Dutton.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
Well, he's writing like his own cowboy series that he's like writing and probably directing and being a part of for like Amazon. So Amazon's like, here's all the money. He's like, bye, Felicia, I'm out. So good.
Okay.
Good for
bye,
him.
Kevin Costner. See you later.
Kevin Costner playing a modern cowboy, or do we want to see Kevin Costner as an old school cowboy again? Because I mean, he plays cowboy.
Or do we want to see Kevin Costner at all?
I mean, I want to see another Waterworld.
You
You
know,
got to
I
go to
wouldn't-
Universal Studios and
I
go to
wouldn't
the
mind a
water
reboot
show.
of Bull Durham.
Okay.
That was a good freaking movie. Bull Durham. Oh, loved that movie. Okay. Anyway.
Neat.
Or another Field of Dreams.
No, Bull Durham. Field of Dreams was good, but I just loved that. I just thought it was great. Susan Sarandon and
She was
and
amazing.
that's how she met Tim Robbins.
Oh yeah.
And that whole thing happened, and yeah, I just loved it. The thing that I loved the most was the on the mound when they were trying to figure out what gifts to get for the wedding, and somebody had like, he was like, look, all my superstitions aren't working, and he's like, well, try this, and like he just solved everybody's problems like on the mound, and he was like, are we good now? Can we now play baseball?
Right.
I was like, I love that. So
Yeah, it's one of the
Anyway.
best baseball movies. Totally.
it really is.
agree.
It's a good baseball movie.
All right, enough cowboy talk. On to real men talk. I'm talking Babylon 5.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, I'm already on board for this.
So Babylon 5 is getting an animated movie.
Oh,
Interesting place to go.
I go
So-
awe because I
could
would have
see it animated.
animate
That-
would be
yeah.
great because it's built for that kind of thing. But I would have loved to see a new live action.
And you
Maybe
can bring
this
back
will
the voice
spark
cast.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The news comes straight from Babylon 5 creator J. Michael Straczynski, who not only confirmed the movie's existence, but that it's already completed.
Nice.
Interesting. Further
Sweet.
details will come next week from Warner Brothers Animation and Warner Brothers Home Entertainment, with the latter involvement in suggesting that the Babylon 5 movie will see a direct-to-home media release rather than a theatrical one. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It's not a huge IP, but you know.
Well, and I mean, I don't know why, but I would prefer seeing live action in the theater and animation at home. And I don't know why that is, but yeah. I say that, but like Guardians had so much CGI in it, but it doesn't look like it. So it's like,
Right.
With the
I don't know.
exception of Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
No, that one. I
Oh
I
yeah,
saw that one at
I
home.
forgot
too.
about that. That
Yeah,
got
that was a
theatrical release.
theatrical release. Yeah.
That was like
Yeah.
the first DC animated film back in the day.
Mhm.
Okay. This news teased by Straczynski last week is likely to buoy the spirits of the Babylon 5 faithful as development on the proposed Babylon 5 revival at the CW has been halted due to the writer's strike.
I think this is what they're going to do. I think this may be their workaround for the writer's strike is, hey, what can we do animation wise? Or what do we have in the pipeline that we already
But they
are
still need
kind of doing
writers
it?
for this though.
Well, but see, they can go with writers that aren't maybe not American writers. So it's weird because like it's only if they're part of that union.
Writers Guild of America.
Yeah, the Writers Guild of America. So I just wonder if that's and a lot. The studios were asking for a lot of scripts before the writer's strike. So I'm wondering they were kind of prepared. Anyway, that's the writer's strike stuff. We're not talking about that right now.
So no set date when the animated Babylon 5 film will take flight.
Is that a lot of word salad for you to say, James?
A lot of word salad with a stuffed up nose. Yes.
So I'd like to take us to a different world, far away. Not long ago, though. It's some juicy blue milk news, y'all. Empire Magazine talked to showrunner for Star Wars Andor, Tony Gilroy, about the upcoming trip back into that corner of the galaxy far, far away. In those comments, the creative director, showrunner, did mention that the final 3 entries will involve the last 3 days before Rogue One.
Ooh.
So that's kind of interesting because, like, I was thinking, like, the first season, it took place, would you say, like, over maybe a year or 2?
Yeah. I mean, it was some time before the events of Rogue One. I mean, at this point, season 2, we're definitely getting K2SO. We have to, because if it's 3 days before, if it ends, the series ends 3 days before Rogue One, You have to, like, he's not just going to be like, oh yeah, here's K2SO. With the relationship that they had in that movie, they knew each other for a while.
So do you think we'll get K2SO like in the first episode?
I
and
hope.
then develop it? Because if the last 3 episodes are going to take place 3 days before Rogue One, then they have a lot of ground to cover. Because if they start where they stopped, you know, he's got to meet K2SO. He's got to get what's his name back, the one that was in the Prison Break one. That he went with, because he's in Rogue One. And then we've also got to kind of see his network a little bit more. And then I've got to find out all like what's going on with Lucius. And does Mon Mothma ever meet Andor? These are the questions I have, and I want them answered. And if they don't answer them, I will be very angry.
I do see, like, what I would want is season 2 starts up. It's like a year or 2 after the events of the first season. And he's like, I don't even need an explanation. Just K2SO walks in the room.
Right.
And
or
the explanation is like, you know, they like something is just, you know, we've been capturing Imperial resources, you know, and K2SO just comes in and does a quip.
Yeah, I think, or he's there with like 2 or 3 of them, and he says something, you know, K2SOE, and then you're like, that's K2SO. Oh my god, I love him. And then the others just kind of go on their merry way. I think that would be great. That would be a great just little tidbit. But yeah, no, Andor is my favorite. I think it's my favorite of the new series, and I love Mandalorian. Don't get me wrong, I love Mandalorian, but Andor to me it's a part of Star Wars I didn't know I needed to see, and I now have to see all of it. So
the original plan for Andor was 5 seasons, and each season would be a year leading up to Rogue One. So it would start like 5 years before Rogue One, and then each season would lead into that. So they're just kind of condensing it down into
that was
seasons.
Tony Gilroy's like, he wanted to just do 2 seasons, and I think he figured that out after the first season. He was like, no, we're only doing 2 seasons because this is a lot of work. But
But it's also like, it doesn't get stagnant if you just do 2 seasons and you're not just like throwing in filler episodes, you know?
Yeah, I think we'll hear more about it as it comes up, because I mean, it's scheduled to return August of 2024, so that's a lot of time. We've got over a year now, so I can't wait for the ramp up to it. And
they're filming right now in Italy.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I just can't wait for honestly, like the ramp up of the promotions and seeing stuff. And you know, you've had like Diego Luna and Guinevere.
Yes.
Kelly. I don't know her last name. Anyway, the one that plays Mon Mothma. She did an interview. I just read something on her, and I know Diego Luna's been doing stuff, and they were at Star Wars Celebration and talking about stuff. So I know they're really invested in it, and I know that Filoni and company are also invested in it. So I think it's going to be great. And I think it's going to be a really good second season. So
yeah, I agree.
I really like the Mon Mothma stuff. By the way, Genevieve O'Reilly. But
Genevieve
I love that
O'Reilly, that's what it is.
I love the Mon Mothma stuff. It's so cool.
Absolutely.
All right, let's keep
and
going.
she was talking about sacrifice. Like, every episode is going to be about sacrifice. There's going to be some sacrifice in it. And I just think that's amazing.
That makes sense with the way that the characters and kind of like the way that Andor is been built at this point, like the way the character like arc goes, and where we know that he goes, and the types of sacrifices that he's willing to do. I want to see him get a little more gritty, especially because the opening scene in that movie is, you know, him sacrificing a rebel spy to Imperials. Like, I want to see just kind of the things that he's willing to do in order to get their goals.
He opened the series by killing 2 policemen.
No, I know, but I mean, like, that was more self-defense. It's like self-preservation. Whereas, like, at the beginning of the movie, it was, you know, he was already an established spy, and at that point, he's willing to give away. It's not somebody who how do I put this? Like, it's the two the
He
security,
was more chaotic and didn't have a purpose. He
right?
killed them out of chaos, whereas when we see him in Rogue One, he's driven by a purpose. So it's not chaos; it's his purpose that
He
causes
saw
him to
that
kill
person
him.
as expendable.
Right.
Yes.
But he's also willing to kill Galen, like just
Yeah.
because it's just like this is gonna further our goals. It's kind of like I wanna see where you go from this dude who didn't want anything to do with the rebellion to becoming this guy that is willing to kill anybody in order to get their gains to where they need.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. I mean, honestly, I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be a really good second season. I was just shocked that that second season was gonna end that close to Rogue One. I was like, wow, that's crazy. So,
Right.
all right, let's move
So
on.
yeah, so in finish him news, Carl Urban will be taking on the role of Johnny Cage in New Line Cinema's upcoming film Mortal Kombat 2. Simon McQuoid, who directed the 2021 film, will return to helm the sequel, and the script comes from Jeremy Slater, who previously worked on Moon Knight and The Umbrella Academy. I'm actually very excited for this writer coming onto this.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, the post-credit scene teased that Johnny Cage would be coming in the sequel. So Lewis
Wait, what?
10, huh?
No, you spoiler. Jeez.
I just said spoiler alert.
Oh,
For a
okay.
movie that came out 3 years ago.
Right.
I guess.
Anybody who wanted to watch that movie watched it already, okay?
It came out like it was a stream.
It was
Like,
one of the first movies that came
yeah.
out on HBO Max.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
that's
and
right.
I watched it when it came out.
Right. Lewis 10, who played Cole Young in the last film, says he's been training his ass off for the new film. He also teased that the sequel is going to be absolutely insane and way bigger.
I
Way
I
bigger.
dig Carl Urban.
Huge. You know, I dig me some Carl Urban too.
I
You know,
love
he played
everything
Cupid.
Carl Urban does. Did he?
He played Cupid on Xena,
Oh, that's
the
right.
warrior princess. Yeah.
Yes. Carl Urban is the nerd that people don't realize is a nerd, because like everything that he does, he goes all in. And I love when he gets into a role that is specifically a comic book or a nerd universe character. He is so big on, well, the character wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I loved his take on Judge Dredd, because he talked in an interview about how they said that the director originally wanted him to take his helmet off, and he goes, well, Dredd wouldn't take his helmet off.
Yeah. Dredd didn't do that.
He said to this day, Dredd hasn't taken his helmet off in the comics. Why would he take it off in a movie?
Dredd's a Mandalorian. Judge Dredd is a Mandalorian.
Yeah. I mean, like, I love that he was just like, I've read the comics, and Dredd doesn't take off his helmet, so I'm not taking it off. That's out of character for Dredd to take it off. Like, I love that. When he played Bones, same thing. He's very to how he
didn't
played
take his helmet off. Yeah.
He didn't take his helmet off,
He didn't. He hated that transporter.
Now, what do you think about Johnny Cage? Him playing Johnny Cage?
I know
I think he's gonna knock it out of the friggin' park.
I know he'll do the character justice. The thing is I don't know how I feel about him playing Johnny Cage to begin with. I know he can play characters that are, full of themselves, and he's got a lot. I would have much rather had The Miz play him, but I mean, they decided to go with Carl Urban. I'm not against Carl Urban playing Johnny Cage. It's just, I don't know. I don't feel like he is. I don't feel like he's selfish enough to play someone like Johnny Cage, because Johnny Cage is a very selfish character.
Well, come on. Look at him in The Boys. Of course he can be selfish.
He can, but like the way that character is a different type of selfish. Like, he's a little more nihilistic than Johnny Cage, whereas Johnny Cage is more like flashy.
That's what I'm getting at. Johnny Cage is like flashy.
Yeah.
So.
So go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, the Hollywood type character, like you said, Miz.
Yeah.
That one may be a reach, but I have full faith in Carl Urban. Look at his characters. Like from him in The Boys to him as Judge Dredd to him as Bones. Dr. McCoy. Like, he's got some range.
He also played Priest, and he played really good version of Priest. He's played a couple of different characters that are like all comic book related characters, and he knocks them out of the park. I've never seen Carl Urban play a character that wasn't good. So that's why I think that, I mean, if they're casting him as Johnny Cage, I think he's going to knock it out of the park.
So do you think this is going to revolve around him? No,
I hope not. I mean, you can write a story where it revolves around Johnny Cage, but I would rather it not be something that revolves around Johnny Cage. I would much rather it be about the tournament itself, and you kind of get like, you know, it's more about the bond between all the different characters.
I'm down. More Mortal Kombat. I like it. It's a fun popcorny, bloody violence movie for me.
I'm wondering how they're gonna handle Sub-Zero and Scorpion coming back and everything like that. Like Scorpion, I think they can easily bring him back. Sub-Zero, I think they would bring in his younger brother, who was like the mainstay in the franchise anyways.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Because Sub-Zero's younger brother, the one that didn't have the mask on, he had the scar over his eye. That's like after Mortal Kombat 2, he was the main version of Scorpion through the entire series until they brought back the original one in Mortal Kombat 10.
Perfect. I like it.
I'm that kind of nerd. I love that game. So Slater also previously shared his unique approach to the franchise, saying there's a tongue-in-cheek aspect of Mortal Kombat in terms of the violence and in terms of the gore. There's a little bit of winking at the audience and saying like, yeah, we know this is ridiculous, but it's really fun, and we're all in on the joke together. Slater continued with, and when you find the right balance, I think that's where you get moments like the incredibly bloody first battle that opens the first movie with the score with Hanzo sort of tearing through all the assassins, or you get that gag or things like that. So we're looking to how do we emulate those gore moments from the first one that were really, really successful and get huge audience reactions, and how do we give the audience even more this time around? Johnny Cage is a brash and arrogant action movie star with martial artists, and he is one of the most popular characters in the franchise to date, which is very true. I actually have a lithograph of Johnny Cage like somewhere in my comic book stuff back there. Expect Mortal Kombat 2 sometime in late 2024 or early 2025.
I take it.
I think it's going to be fun. I actually enjoyed the first one, and I didn't really watch any of the Mortal Kombat movies before that or play the game. So Husby had to explain some stuff to me, but I like that first scene, like the first fight. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was everything I wanted, because leading up to that movie, I kept saying I want a good storyline where they explain the different shinobi and like why they fight against each other and why Hanzo Hasashi. Like I wanted the Hanzo Hasashi backstory, and they gave us that, and I was like, oh my god, this is great.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll do the same for Johnny Cage, and that's probably why Carl Urban said he'd do it, because he's not one to do things unless he knows they're going to be true to it. Like even when he was doing when he did the thing for Ragnarok.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that was his comedy side, but you know, he was true to that. He was like, no, I'm going to be true to it, and he stuck to it. And so I thought that was great. So
yeah,
we can move on.
All right. I got more Warner Brothers news. Okay, so check this out. Some wrestling / Warner Brothers news. Both AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation have ended for the time being. So that's two of AEW shows. They're internet shows. But this is due to AEW inking a new contract for the upcoming Saturday show, AEW Collision. So they're adding a brand new produced show. Okay. The new deal certifies that AEW wrestling content will be exclusively airing on the Warner Brothers Discovery networks, right?
Ooh.
So I know, kind of interesting. So AEW President Tony Khan said back in fall 2022. So like what was that? 6 months ago, 7 months ago?
About that, yeah.
We've got this great partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery, and we've got the rest of the year and next year. AEW's current contract with Warner Brothers Discoveries lasts until the end of this year. That said, the new AEW Collision deal will likely shake up the long-term future of AEW on Warner Brothers Discovery, as it would be kind of weird for Warner Brothers Discovery to sign a deal and then let them go 6 months later. So what this really means is that Warner Brothers Discovery is putting money into AEW. It's probably going to be featured as like some kind of additional show that you can only get, say, probably on Max.
Either Max or on actually no, yeah, it would be on Max. I'm excited for this. I mean, this just basically means that AEW is getting the ramp up and the respect that it needs. Because they need something like Warner Brothers to back them so that they can become something as big as WWE. I mean, like the production value on the show itself is amazing. You know, like I said, we went to go see AEW Revolution when it was out here in San Francisco, and it was an amazing show. Like everything about it was good.
Yeah, from like in-ring storytelling to TV to production to fireworks and whatnot. They put on a good show.
Yeah,
I mean, like that Iron Man match was amazing. You know what I mean? Like it was just a really good match.
I'm a little concerned though that it's going to be that much content. You know, like WWE has a little struggle keeping 5 hour or actually 7 hours worth of content each week.
Yeah,
and keeping it interesting. So, with all this content for AEW, it's like, is the storytelling going to suffer? I hope not. So, we'll see.
I mean, they do a really good job of compacting a lot of story and a lot of wrestling within the two shows that they have right now. I think this is just going to be with the way that they write on these shows. I feel like this is just going to give more opportunity to more wrestlers and allow more storylines to open up where I mean, it might be a little bit hard to follow, but I mean, at the same time, it's the same thing with like WWE where they have all this time and we have so many wrestlers that don't get their due. Versus like AEW does a really good job of giving a lot of due, but there's still some guys that don't get much and they have to wait like 2 weeks to get a storyline. So it's like give them an extra show and we start getting more storylines with more characters and you get more kind of that's going to drive more people to watch AEW. Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Okay, let's keep it going. From phase 5 to phase pause. As expected, the Writers Guild of America strike is causing all kinds of film and TV productions to be put on hold until things are resolved. As for how it's affecting the MCU and Marvel Studios, they have been forced to push back production on Mahershala Ali's upcoming Blade movie. Ouch.
Okay,
Again.
we called that.
Yeah, I mean, but
I think they were already going to be pushing that back.
Yeah. So as of right now, pre-production has been temporarily shut down. So they're still writing.
I heard that the reason that it got shut down is because they were picketing, but you didn't hear it from me.
Well, I mean, like this show has been rewritten twice.
Yeah.
It's announced that we're going to be getting what's her name? Starts with an L. She's the mother of demons. Lilith. Lilith. That's what it is. She's Adam's first wife.
Yeah.
The mother of demons. So Lilith is supposed to be the villain in this, and they just like
I was gonna say Echidna, and I was like, no, it's different series, different world.
Right. But yeah, like Lilith is supposed to be the villain in this, and they just announced this. I think she's kind of a big character, but then they also just announced that they cast Deacon Frost. So I mean, like, we're gonna be getting Deacon Frost, we're gonna be getting Lilith in this. Mahershala Ali obviously is playing Blade. I mean, there's a lot more happening in this than we know. But at the same time, again, I think a lot of this is just kind of like spaghetti they're throwing at the wall right now because the show, the movie has been rewritten twice.
Well, I mean, it was written, and then the person that was involved exited, and so they went ahead and rewrote it because Ali, Marshala Ali, and I know I said it wrong. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Yeah, he didn't like it. Like, didn't like parts of the script.
Well, he was also saying there wasn't enough action. Like he was saying, like, how do you make a Blade movie when there's no fight scenes?
Right, and you need to have those. And so I could see why they rewrote it. And then having Lilith in it, I think that's going to be like fan freaking tastic. I'm wondering if Black Knight's going to be in it as well.
It would make sense considering that at the end of Eternals, that was like the last thing we got was him talking to the Black Knight.
Yeah, I expected him to at least see some sort of cameo from him. But I don't know where they'd put it unless like maybe Secret Invasion, but I don't even think it would fit there. So there's like a lot of stuff that Blade's kind of in his own little universe right now because there's not a lot of that unless Moon Knight. I kind of expected something in Moon Knight with Blade, just like some little thing, but the way they did Moon Knight, he couldn't have been in it. So
I was expecting Moon Knight or
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night. That was another one I thought too.
Yeah, like those are both characters that tie into Blade very well. Again,
especially with Man Thing. Like I know Man Thing and Blade have had past dealings. So I do think that might be it. I'm wondering if he might do something with Deadpool.
That would be cool too. Again, there's a lot of places where we can bring him in just because Midnight Suns, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because they have been talking about at some point doing Midnight Suns. Blade is a staple part of that. He's a big part of that. So, I mean, Doctor Strange is somewhere where you can bring in a character like Blade. Of course, anything with Black Knight inside of it, which that actually would make sense to have Black Knight be a part of the Midnight Suns too, because he's a character that fits in there. I think he was part of Midnight Suns at one point.
Yeah, I think briefly, yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, another character that needs to be introduced at some point is Ghost Rider.
Definitely.
Well, I heard them talking about they want to bring in Cosmic Ghost Rider, so they'd be bringing in what's his name, Reyes.
Oh, Ricky.
Yeah.
Ricky Reyes.
Yeah. So I mean, like there's a couple of different like characters that we will see at some point where we can bring in Blade. I mean, even technically, even Thunderbolt, you can bring in Blade.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Like maybe I'm just wondering if he's going to be in any kind of like post-credit scenes or something, kind of, behind the scenes kind of thing, just so we get a tease for that. I'd love to see that because I just think right now they've just got him in this weird holding pattern, like a purgatory almost. And he's such a good actor. He was the whole reason that Luke Cage, well, not the whole reason, but a big reason that Luke Cage did so well. Yeah. So
I always talk about how I loved him as Cottonmouth. I thought
he was fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah. I thought his take on Cottonmouth was perfect.
Oh, so good. All right. Anyway, let's keep going.
Speaking of Thunderbolts and Deadpool 3, nice segue. So the Hollywood Reporter says that Deadpool 3 is expected to go in front of the camera later this month, and Thunderbolts is still on track to start shooting in June. How long did the last strike take? Like 3 months or something?
3 months.
Yeah, it was like 100 days. So speaking of shutdowns, Marvel's Daredevil Born Again is shutting down production due to the ongoing strike by the Writers Guild of America. The Eastern Division of the WGA put out a statement on Twitter with the following explanation of why the Daredevil Disney Plus series could not continue filming today. WGA members on strike set up a sunrise picket at Silver Cup East where they're supposed to be filming Daredevil, but members of the Teamsters Local 817 and IATSE Locals 829 and 52 are refusing to cross the picket line.
Oh, so do they know that they were going to be filming at that location? They said, we're going to go here and strike? Wow.
Well, I mean, I think it's just they knew Silver Cups, like Silver Cup Studios down like Silver Cup East, that they have a lot of stuff going on production wise, so it may not have just been Daredevil Born Again. I think they were just picketing that because they knew that productions were going on. So who knows?
Interesting.
Very.
I mean,
what is that?
It's sad because
two Marvel things shut down right now. Ouch.
But I want Daredevil Born Again to finish, but I also want to support the WGA because they're not getting paid what they should be getting paid, and they're being treated poorly. So I love Charlie Cox. I love you, Charlie Cox, but I'm standing strong with the WGA.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, both of these are going to hit Marvel, and on top of that, hit Disney. And we know Disney's had issues with paying extra residuals to people. So, interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I hope it comes to I hope the WGA strike comes to a conclusion quickly. I hope that everybody just, puts on their big boy pants and comes to the table and works it out.
Yeah. I mean, they really do need to pay them a wage that is like a lot of Hollywood needs to realize stuff like this happens. And it's like, if you don't think that they're worth the money, look at what's happening right now and how productions get shut down because there are no writers. Like they are integral to this whole piece. You need to pay them what they deserve for the work they're putting out. Yep.
And like there's other stuff going on. And so like the Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, their nose is out of place about something Netflix is trying to do with contracts. And so there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and companies just, for some reason, almost to like 20 years, like every 20 years, it seems like it's like they just try this and it's like, man, it didn't work 20 years ago. What makes you think it's going to work now?
Yeah.
And they just forget, and you got to kind of spank them on the bottom.
Well, because they think that they can get away with, hey, we can pay you less to do more work, and you have to be happy about it or you're not going to have a job. And it's like, well, no, we're a union, so that's not how that works.
Yeah. Yeah. So absolutely.
Speaking of money, if you got extra money, we got merch, people.
We got merch, people.
We got hats or a hat for $35 or $30. If you're going to buy multiple hats, try to buy multiple hats.
You know what it is?
There you go.
That's collector's edition right there.
Collector's edition. It's a
collector's edition.
We also got shirts. So if you want a shirt, all you got to do is DM us at Distance Nerding and let us know what size you're looking for. So I think we got most sizes in play. And if you need something special, just let us know. We got the hookup. Shout out to our boy Joe. The shirts are $20 or $25 if we have to ship it to you. And if you're clamoring, you want something new and fresh and exciting, go check out lucharillas.com. We have our own line of Lucharillas, the Distance Nerdarilla. And they have shirts and memory cards and bump boxes. It's amazing. Go check out lucharillas.com.
Look at that handsome gorilla. Look at that.
You know, it always reminds me of like, it could be like Gorilla Grodd's like cousin who just really likes, wrestling. And
totally does. That's every time
I saw the pictures of Eric. He was down at World's Best Comics. Or shout out to Eric Ruiz, who is part of Lucharillas. He's also an incredible artist. He was down at World's Best Comics on Free Comic Book Day, doing some signings, selling some artwork, and he was wearing the Distance Nerdarilla shirt. So
yeah, he was very upset. He was very upset that both me and James couldn't be there. Now Tyler went by and saw him, but I was working, so I couldn't get over there. And James was being a dad. So
and our boy Scott was there as well. So Scott and Eric got to hang out and talk wrestling, talk comic books. So they said they had a good time. So that was good.
Shout out to Scott.
Good guy. I think I saw him today, actually.
Nice.
All right.
Well, let's get into some schedule, guys. So right at the bottom of the screen, if you're watching, you can see it right there. But if you're listening, Mondays, game streams from 8 to 12. Ladies and gentlemen, I am playing Jedi Survivor right now. It is a great, amazing game. I'm so happy I've been playing it. And once I'm done with that, I'll probably get right back into Hogwarts Legacy. We did a surprise stream the other night with me and Geek Saga, and we just played some Call of Duty and talked all kinds of smacks to 12-year-olds, and it was great. Of course, Tuesdays, the show that you're watching right now, listening to right now, the download from 6:30 to 8:30, where we talk news, rumors, trailer reactions, reviews, all the fun stuff that you guys listen to on the podcast. We do live on Tuesdays. Thursdays, the build from 6 to 8 on Twitch, YouTube, hanging out with myself, Young Phil, building Lego while we talk to interesting and nerdy people, and we do brackets with mostly
Graveyard.
I was gonna say mostly with Graveyard, but then with whatever other guests that want to come up on the show, and we want to talk about all kinds of nerdy stuff. We got a DC one coming up pretty soon, and I'm excited for that.
I will be there. I will be there to crush your dreams, Phil.
But we're also doing best animated Marvel property, and I meant to send him a message last night, and I think we got it all like figured out, but I'm still going to post that message saying, what's everybody's top 8 that they want to go into that bracket. So
yeah, that's a crazy bracket. I saw it and I had a hard time picking a top 8.
Yeah, there's like 32 animated projects that are on that, and it's like, yeah, we got to narrow that down.
Yeah,
It's
and
the
they can't
bracket.
all be Spider-Man. Okay,
That's the toughness of the bracket.
Well, we got to narrow it down because there's a lot of stuff that's in there that people have never watched. So we figured, okay, well, if we ask everybody in the Nerdington post, what are your top 8s, we can aggregate from that. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
So that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, catch us on all the shows that we do. And of course, we mentioned it earlier in the show, but if you want to catch us live, next thing we're doing is Powerhouse Comic Con. What is that? On the May 20th?
20th. Yeah.
Yeah. So May 20th in Pleasanton, California. Come and hang out with us, guys. We're going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff there.
Good
Yay!
times.
Fantastic.
Did we do pluggables yet? We haven't done pluggables.
Yeah. So Frey, give us your plugs. What are all the pluggable things that you got going on right now? Where are all
This is all my real hair. I don't have plugs.
Show us that weave. Where's that weave at?
I don't have a weave. Are you kidding? I do not need any more hair on this head. All right. So I'm here on Tuesdays, and I occasionally come in on Thursdays for the build when I have a lot of opinions about stuff. I really do come in occasionally. And Saturdays, I'm on the Saturday morning nerd out on that, and I talk all sorts of stuff, and occasionally do predictions or crazy wants. Last week we did something about Animal Avengers, which was really funny.
What's the new nickname they have for you on there? The Corglisi?
Corglisi. Yeah, because of all the corgis.
Yeah.
And
Mother of corgis.
That show's fun because like on this show we do a lot of news. On that show it's a lot of like discussion and deep dive. So
yeah. Oh yeah. We try to do some news, but for the most of it, we like to pick one horror thing, and then we have a nerd out segment, and so it's more of a discussion type. And yeah, so I mean, if you guys like it, we will. So we're gonna do the spoilers for Guardians this week. I did a non-spoiler review last week because I actually got a chance to see Guardians on Thursday. So and loved it and can't wait to go see it again. I may go see it again before my son comes back from his dad's.
We should go see it together.
Okay, that'll work. It'll just take me a couple of days to get there.
Again, no spoilers, but best performance of Chris Pratt's career. I'm just throwing that.
I just loved all of it. I will say this: if you're on the fence to see it and you liked either the first one or the second one or both, you have to see it. Every single character gets the opportunity to be the hero in this film.
Absolutely.
Without any spoilers, does this get up in the ranks of debate for is this the best MCU movie made? It kind of for
It's
both of you.
hard because I feel like all three movies, like once you see the third movie, I feel like all three movies are one big movie.
Yeah.
So I
It's
think
cohesive as hell.
it is, I think it's the best trilogy MCU
Yeah.
has done. It is the
Okay.
most consistent, it is the most heartfelt, and it delivers on the promises that it makes. And
Oh.
so I think that right there, I think makes it really good. I have to say it's not my favorite MCU film, but it's up there in my, I want to say top 5. It's in my top 5. And I change so often, but it's probably right now, it's probably right under Winter Soldier for me. And that's a huge compliment to it.
Yeah,
I'll
there's a
take
lot
that.
of moments in that movie.
Yeah.
It's really well directed, really well done. Again, guys, we'll do a spoiler-free review on Instagram sometime this week.
Yeah. But yeah, and I mod for everything. I mod for Distance Nerding, Kyber Cave Productions, another big name, one that you guys will know, but you know, I'm not giving them free publicity. So
Yeah, they gotta pay you for it. You know what I mean?
not giving them free publicity. They got
All
3
right,
million,
hey.
3 million subsubscribers. So
That's
when
totally
we get
okay.
3 million, I will give them publicity.
They can afford to give us like, a couple 100,000. Come on.
Right.
When we get to 3 million, you're like, I'm not gonna mention your Discord anymore.
Right. I
All right.
might be a mod or I might not be a mod.
Yeah. Have something you want to discuss? Tell us what you're nerding out on and make sure to let us know in the Facebook group, The Distance Nerdington Post.
Now, guys, we talk about this every week, and you know that you can support us. The best way to support us is going to distancenerding.com and joining the taco party. Ladies and gentlemen, on the top left-hand side of the screen, you'll see a little button. You tap that button, you'll see a buy us a taco button. You can buy us tacos, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the best way to support us because that helps us get to buy more prizes for you. It helps us get to shows and take care of everything we need to take care of so we can continue to make the best
Say
content.
Wong, you can buy us a taco. Say Wong, you can buy.
Get us tacos. Get us tacos. Now, guys, connect with us at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Discord, all at Distance Nerding.
And don't forget,
Yay.
you can email us at distancenerding@aol.com and we will read it on the air.
That's right. Dist
So
Ints Nerding at AOL.com.
You guys are ridiculous.
all right, y'all.
As much as James wants me to change that. At this
Are
point,
we ready for it? Ooh, Say Wong chimed in. He'll give us Gym Boys. I will take that, Say Wong.
I will
Say
take
Wong,
this all day, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just
Say
send them
Wong,
on
are
to
you
me
gonna-
right here.
Say Wong, are you in a Powerhouse Comic Con? If you're going to Powerhouse, let us know. We want to see you there. It's in
Absolutely,
Pleasanton.
You know what?
Have
If
fun.
you come to Powerhouse in Pleasanton, I will buy you tacos.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to Pleasanton, so he's
That
buying
gauntlet
me
has been thrown down, Say Wong.
Yeah. Say Wong. You show up to Powerhouse.
Oh no.
And I'm not buying you tacos.
It's because
All
Phil threatened you with tacos, isn't it?
tacos. I know that happens. All right, y'all.
Gym Boys, though, because there is no Gym Boys in Pleasanton.
Hey, my nickname is Jim Boy, so I'll be in Pleasanton. So
You know, it's
Jim
funny.
Boys.
Is that's not wrong. Jim is short for James. So
yeah,
like,
exactly. That's what my
you have to deal with
my
the
parents.
accent, though. Oh, hey, Jim Boy.
That's my parents and my cousins call me. They're like, "Hey, Jim Boy."
Oi, Jim.
My
Anyway.
mom calls me Ginger.
Ginger.
I call her
Is
Betty.
you a redhead? Oh.
No. Just Ginger. Because
I call her on Wednesdays. You know what I mean?
Ask old by Ginger.
no, you don't.
Thanks.
You don't want any
and
piece of that.
Keep nerding together.
Keep nerding together, everybody.
Oh God!
Nerd
All right,
together.
it is dance party time, ladies and gentlemen. let's get this dance going.
So thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Say Wong. You guys are awesome. Thanks, Eric.
Flavortown.
Oh yeah. Look at that. A burger.
Take me to Flavortown.
Hey, that's my pop.
That's also your pop.
Hey, that's my pop.
See everybody next week.
Bye.
Next week.